can see what I'm doing. So now let's turn off this light. In this moment, my phone. Hello YouTubers, welcome to my channel Drone for Beginners. Here in the bench I have the very new RunCam Eagle 2 Pro version. I'm gonna talk about some of its specs. We're gonna see the inside options of the camera with this little remote control that comes in the box, and I'm gonna test it and show you a little video test comparing the video that my phone does with the video that you can get with this new version. So as you can see, this is all what comes in the box. This is the brand new Eagle 2 Pro, and this new RunCam Eagle 2 Pro, it's like a mix in the last version Eagle 2 with some things of the RunCam Swift 2. The RunCam Swift 2 comes with microphone, so this new version, the Eagle 2 Pro, now comes with microphone. At the Eagle 2 we can change and switch in the menu between 16:9 or 4:3, and we can change between NTSC and PAL, and we have a new pin to connect our battery of our drones. In the box you're gonna get your new Eagle 2 Pro, that here we have it, and we are gonna get free a different case. So this case is optional, all depends which frame drone you have, so you can use this one or this one. These cases are not metal, they are plastic case. We have 3 cables. 2 cables are for connecting the output of video, output of audio, 5 to 36 volts input, and a new pin called VBAT where we connect directly our drone's battery. And we have this little extension so we can easily, when we have our camera on a drone, make or change settings with our OSD control. We have a little camera mount, screws, and a little card that only says where we can download the manual. So let's see the camera in more details. Let's see how much does it weigh in grams. So this new version, the Eagle Pro 2 or Eagle 2 Pro, weighs 16 grams. Here we can see the difference between the Eagle 2 and the new Eagle 2 Pro and what comes from the RunCam Swift 2. In the last version we did not have mic, so we did not have a mic output. That is right here. This mic comes from the Switch 2, and another thing that is very equal in the back with the RunCam Swift 2 is that we have an extra pin called VBAT Plus, so the connection for this FPV camera must be in this sequence. Here we have 5 to 36 volts, and if you want good results videos, you must use a regulator and filter input voltage in this thing. Then we have ground, then we have video output, then we have audio output, and then we have VBAT Plus input. This new VBAT Plus input lets us have in the screen a more precise voltage of our battery, because if we only use this voltage input that has an extra regulator system in the cam, it's not gonna be as precise as the voltage we have in our battery. Now let's see the settings of the camera. To make a little test here on the bench, I'm gonna use this little transmitter, FPV 5.8 GHz transmitter. This is the Ichin ET200. It's a 200 milliwatt 32 channel FPV transmitter. I'm gonna connect it to a 3S battery and send the video to my goggles and record the video in this DVR in the test I'm going to do. But first let's talk a little bit about the 3 cables that comes with this new RunCam FPV camera. This one is very interesting because now we do not have to disassemble our drone if we're gonna do extra setup in the OSD system. So this cable, I'm gonna leave it here, and it's like a little extension to connect our OSD control. Now we have 2 extra cables. This cable, as you can see, it only has 3 options. We have red to connect the power, black for ground, and yellow for video output. If you're gonna use your flight controller OSD, this is the best option. But if you're not gonna use a mini OSD or your flight controller OSD, the other cable is the best option, because in this other cable we have 5 cables. We have red for voltage input. In the red we should use filter and regulator voltage for the cam. We have black for ground, yellow for video output, and white for audio output. And we have an extra cable that is not connected to nothing. This little blue cable, we're gonna connect it to our FPV or battery voltage. And this is the easiest way to see our voltage on our screen without using an external OSD. Now I'm gonna connect my camera to the system that I have here. I'm gonna use a direct battery. In this case, I'm not gonna use the VBAT Plus. Here I have this connection in this way. 3S battery, ground, and video output going to my FPV transmitter. Connection for the battery, and an extra output so we can see on an FPV screen the options of the menu. So I'm going to connect the battery to the FPV system. Now I'm going to connect the video that's going out from the camera. The video is going in 2 directions. One direction to the FPV system and to the other direction to this point. But I'm going to need an extra cable like this one, and we have video of our RunCam. Let's see the options of the menu. Now let's make a little test and see how the wide dynamics range is working. So let's do it like this. This is an easy way to test the wide dynamic range, and it works very well. Now let's see what we have in the menu. Now I'm going to connect to the extension that I told to you, the remote control. Okay, now let's see more detail what we have in the options. So I'm going to cover the lens so you can see better. And if I press one time, we can enter the options. Something very interesting about the setup that RunCam has put to this camera is that all the options have the best option for racing drones. As you can see, the option day night is by default in color. Here we can change it to black and white or auto, but by default is in color. In this option you can change from NTSC to PAL. Here you can change the screen format 4:3 or 16:9. Change language, load default settings, see the software version, save and exit. Now let's go to the first option. That is a very important option you should always check in your FPV camera. Max gain is in 9, wide dynamic range is on, brightness is in 36, zoom in is 0. And if we enter this option, this is a very important option you must check and set up. Here you can change the sharpness and the saturation of your camera. If we go into sharpness, normally this is in automatic, in detail and in edge, but by default it's in 6 and in 6, so it's in the best settings numbers. Now you must test it outside and put the numbers that you prefer. Now let's return. We enter in saturation. It by default comes in automatic, so as you can see, by default it's in the best options. Now let's go out, and another option that we can do is change the place of every of these 3 things we're looking here in the screen. Or if we don't need this on-screen information, like the timer. The timer is the time the camera is running. All we have to do is leave this little control pressed up, and now we're in the option where we can change RunCam, put our name, and if we want to turn off the timer, here we can turn it off. If we want to turn off the pilot name, we can turn it on, turn it off, or change the name using the letters that we're seeing here on screen. So I'm going to leave it in this way. Exit. As you can see, the timer is off. Now let's change the position of the pilot name and the OSD voltage. If I want to change the pilot name, all I have to do is leave it pressed down. Okay, now I could change the position. Put it up, put it down, put it wherever I want to put it. Let's put it in this position, press again, and now I want to change the OSD voltage, so I press left and put it where I want. I'm going to move it in this position because the goggles that I am using is not showing me all the screen, so I enter. And that's all we have to do. So now let's do a little test in my apartment, seeing how well it works with all my lights on and with all my lights off. Now I'm gonna start the test. Here I have the new Eagle 2 Pro in this frame. This frame does not have any controller, any motors, only a FPV transmitter and the new RunCam Eagle 2 Pro. So I'm gonna start the camera, plug in the battery, and let's see. FPV transmitter working. Now I'm gonna start my FPV goggles and be sure that I have signal and be sure that I have video. Now I'm gonna start recording. Okay, now I'm recording, and now I'm gonna do the next thing. I'm gonna start my phone camera so we can compare what my phone camera does and sees with what my RunCam is seeing and transmitting to my Ichin EV100 and start the test. Now here, as you can see, this is my workstation where I do my videos. In the left, you're seeing the RunCam video DVR. And in the right, my telephone video, Full HD. Now here, when we have lots of light, the camera is going to work very well. So what I'm going to do is first walk through with a lot of light and then turn off the light so you can see the difference and how the wide dynamics rank works very well in this camera. So let's go to a place where there's little light. Now let's go to my room where I have the lights turned off. As you can see in my phone, the lights are turned off and it's very dark. In this moment I'm not looking to the goggles. I don't know if you can see me with the FPV camera, because I'm not looking. Now let's go back and start turning off lights. So let's start by closing this door. Okay. Now let's turn off this light. Here you can see what I'm doing. So now let's turn off this light. In this moment, my phone is not seeing anything. I cannot see anything in my phone, but I'm sure that I can see a lot of things with the new Eagle 2 Pro. Now let's go out and turn off some more lights. Let's turn off these lights. Here you can see they are on. Now let's turn it off. One off, two off, and it's completely off. In this moment I cannot see anything. I don't know how is the RunCam Eagle 2 Pro working in this moment because I cannot see my goggles. So I think I'm gonna start turning on some lights. Let's turn on this light. Okay, here we have a lot of lights. Some drones up there. Now let's see how it works with a little light. If we have at least little light, it's gonna work better. So when we're flying below trees in a day with a lot of light, we're not gonna have any problem. So let's go in the bathroom again, and I invite you to comment how do you see the camera. I'm going to turn off the cameras. and go back to the workstation. So that's all for this video. I hope you liked the video. Comment how did you see the two videos. I'm not gonna see, I don't know how they are until I edit the video. So don't forget to share. Below in the details I'm gonna leave you the links for this version, this new version, and the past version, so you can compare their specs. I'm gonna finish to build this drone, and I'm gonna be testing this new Eagle 2 Pro in this new build that I'm going to do. See you next time. Thanks for watching my channel, and thanks a lot.